In this video, I'm going to give you step-by-step directions of how you can find and join a prepper retreat group, especially if you don't have the money to buy your own land in the countryside, so you won't have to face SHTF alone, right after the channel intro. Remember, you are ultimately responsible for protecting yourself and for providing for yourself. Live your life with honor and integrity, and always be the wolf hunter. Don't be the sheep, and never be the wolf. Welcome to this community. I'm an avid prepper, a police officer, and an oath keeper. I'm also certified to teach firearms and the deadly use of force. Please subscribe to this channel to see many more upcoming videos on prepping and self-defense. If you're like me, then you believe that if SHTF happens and the rule of law goes by the wayside, that your best chance of survival comes with being in a group of preppers. Now, having said that, I don't think that you just want to jump into any group that you find. Before completely committing yourself to any group, you'll want to the best of your ability to make sure that you can trust people in that group. You also want to make sure that many people in the group hold the same morals and standards that you do. Now, if you're like me, you've probably realized that living in the city or a suburb or any place that people are packed together may not be the best place to live should SHTF happen. And if you're even further like me, you probably don't have the money to just jump up and buy dozens of acres out in the middle of nowhere either. So if you don't have the money to just buy your own bug out location and have decided that you need to find and join an existing prepper retreat group, this video is going to help you. And the steps that I'm going to list in this video is exactly how I found my group. But just for clarification, for this video I'll be referring to the type of prepper retreat group that owns their retreat location that's in the countryside and far removed from large population centers. Because my belief is that having a solid and certain location that you can evacuate to is the safest bet. So here's how you'll find these prepper retreat groups to join. First, you're going to want to find other preppers that's in your area, and you can use the internet to do this. You may consider using the American Preppers Network and use their state network page to find a group that holds prepper training classes in your area. And you can also use meetup.com to find prepping focused groups also. Next, you'll want to attend as many of these training classes as you can, as you'll probably start to notice that many of the same people will attend these meetings over and over again, and you'll want for these people to start recognizing your face. With the prepper training classes that were being held in my area, there was probably about 20 people that would regularly show up to each one of these classes. Now, while most people attending these training classes will probably be loose-knit preppers, there will probably be prepper retreat groups that have an existing retreat location that will be quietly attending these classes. So you'll want to watch how you present yourself when you attend these classes. Nobody likes a know-it-all, so speak up during these classes only when you have something truly beneficial to add. Don't be that guy that comes across as cocky and arrogant. Just realize that prepper groups that have a solid bug-out location will many times be secretive about what they have, and that you will probably not be invited into a group overnight. Next, start developing skills that are absolutely essential to prepping and survival. Skills such as gardening without store-bought fertilizers, or canning your food, or preserving heirloom seeds, or water collection and purification, or medical, etc. But you're going to want to make yourself an expert at a couple of these topics because you're wanting to make yourself a person that's needed by a prepper retreat group. And don't rely on the fact that you have guns and ammo as one of those skills. Many serious preppers are already armed to the teeth, and many groups won't see much value in just another prepper that only has guns and ammo and purchased tactical gear. So you want to become very proficient at a couple of skills that are uncommon with many preppers. Next, during the time that you're learning some important and uncommon prepper skills and getting to know the regular attendees of these training classes, you'll want to be building up your own food stores and other important prepper gear, and I'll explain more on that later. Next, once you've attended many of these prepper training classes and meetings, and once you've become very proficient at some uncommon skills, and once you've gotten to know the regular attendees and the organizers of these classes, then politely and quietly approach the organizers and offer to teach a class on one of the unusual skills that you've learned. It's been my experience that these organizers are always looking for subject ideas to fill up their schedules. So if you approach them and offer to teach a class on a skill that's needed for survival, but not known by the average prepper, then you'll have a pretty good chance of that organizer of scheduling you to teach an upcoming class. Next, when you prepare your class that you're going to teach to this loose-knit group of preppers, be sure to really make it a good training class. Make sure you really give a good presentation that everybody will enjoy and really learn from. And when you go to give your class, remember that this is your time in the spotlight. This will be the time that the prepper groups in the audience will have their eyes on you. So you'll want to present yourself as somebody that's easy to get along with and somebody who really knows what they're talking about. And many prepper groups are almost always lacking on some type of expertise and are always looking to invite somebody into their group that could fill the skill set that they are missing. They may have plenty of food and water preps, but are lacking on medical skills. Or they may lack somebody who's really good at gardening. Or they may lack somebody who's really good at canning. Or they may lack somebody that's really good at defense tactics and strategies. So think of this presentation like a sports game where a professional sports recruiter is in the audience and is sizing up all of the players to decide who would strengthen his sports team the best. And while you're giving this presentation, this may also be a good time to drop some hints to the audience that you already have a good amount of long-term food preps and other prepper gear already stockpiled up. What you're doing here is letting the prepper retreat groups in your audience know that you have badly needed skills, and that an added bonus of adding you to their group will be that you already have long-term food stores, etc. Doing this will let a prepper retreat group know that you will greatly benefit their group. First, with your skills, and secondly, that you won't be showing up empty-handed should SHTF happen. Next, once you've spent several months showing that you are a sensible and likable person who has their own preps and has needed prepper skills, then there's a high likelihood of one of these pre-existing prepper retreat groups approaching you and asking you to join their group. Now, when this happens, don't just automatically join that group. You'll want to get to know the members much better before committing to any group. You'll want to hang out with them and talk politics and get a good sense of their morals and beliefs. You'll also want to have cookouts with them and see how much alcohol that they consume, and then how they act under the influence of alcohol. Because if SHTF happens and everybody has to evacuate to the retreat, you don't want to be stuck with a bunch of alcoholics that become loose cannons or violent when they're drunk. Next, once you've gotten to know this prepper retreat group over several months of time and you feel that they'd be a safe group to join, now would be a good time to draft up some agreements and begin moving some of your supplies to the retreat location. Moving some of your supplies to the retreat location accomplishes a couple of things. For one, it's safer to have your supplies pre-positioned at your retreat so you don't risk losing it if you can't take it with you when you evacuate to the retreat. And second, it will show the rest of the group that you're serious about being a part of the group. Now folks, obviously this isn't going to work for everyone. Sometimes prepper training classes aren't always held in every city or town across the country. But if there are no prepper training classes being held in your area, then maybe you might consider taking the initiative yourself to start organizing these training classes. But besides realizing that you need to show how good and likable of a person you are, besides making sure that you have your food stores and gear up to par, and besides learning valuable and uncommon skills and showcasing those skills in a classroom full of preppers, I think it's very important to remember that this is not a fast process. This is a process that will take months and months as you get to know these people and develop trust. I would never join and commit myself to a group of preppers who I didn't know very well. So folks, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, as this was exactly what I did to become a part of the retreat group that I belong to. I'd love to hear what you think, so please comment below without breaking your operational security, how you joined your retreat group if you belong to one, or if you're planning on lone wolfing it. Folks, since YouTube isn't always showing you when channels that you have subscribed to have released a new video, please hit the little bell icon so you are notified anytime that I release one. Folks, if you like this video, please support my channel by giving it the thumbs up, and please comment below with your thoughts, and please share this video by clicking on the icon, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to this channel as many more videos on prepping and self-defense are coming. Find me on Facebook under Ethical Preparedness Page. Just use the terms Ethical Preparedness Page in Facebook's search box. So folks, if you follow these steps, then you have a very high likelihood of getting invited into a prepper retreat group. And if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I pray that you have a good night.